Gather round and let me tell you a story of realms long forgotten. There are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassia Donahue, a human bard.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Al, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the Dungeon Master on this adventure. Hello, everybody! Hi!
Hello!
Everyone.
How are you all doing today?
Doing
Good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm mundane very nicely.
Cool. I am. I'll let you all in on a little secret. I'm doing my best to hide my cruelty and malevolence because in our last session we ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and we're soon going to be jumping straight back into that. And I'm just going to 180 and be really cruel and malevolent, and you won't notice because my acting right now has been so spot on.
Okay.
How's that
Okay.
sound?
That was
Ready for it.
words. That was a lot of words.
Yeah, good. I bamboozled you with my words. So with that said, who'd like to jump into this completely innocent and non-dangerous episode?
I mean, after that, questionable.
I am confused but intrigued.
Good.
Go for
That's yeses all round.
That was a hard maybe.
Suzail burns like a lightning bolt from the heavens. The capital of Cormyr has been set upon by githyanki astral pirates under the command of Zinalef, the hunter who hates. Whilst their motives are as of yet unconfirmed, the githyanki have spread across the city upon astral skiffs and dragonback to pillage and loot, slaughtering any who would stand against them. In the wake of the attack, the Warhounds accompanied Aaron Fox, sword captain of the 1st Regiment's Hippogriff Knights, to the western district of Suzail due to its population of poorer, less defended citizens. Having brought down one of the many red dragons, the Warhounds now stand in the shadow of an old githyanki and his reinforcements. When last the Warhounds and this Kithrak met in the Stormhorn Mountains, the situation couldn't have been any more different. What impression did their heroes leave on this venerable warrior? And so, the crackling of the buildings around you, the sounds of battle ringing through the air, the blistering heat that prickles your skin, these all fade away in the presence of 3 red dragons which hover above you, all ridden by various githyanki, the central one being ridden by Hiram, a githyanki that you recognize as Ka'anoth, the warden of the githyanki creche that you found up in the Stormhorn Mountains. The old warrior points the large, unusual, blunt, like square or rectangular shaped blade at you, as his eyes kind of glance from you to the corpse of the headless corpse of the red dragon behind you, that is currently under the feet of one Zombo Marifat. And Cutting Off narrows his eyes as he studies you. Was this your doing? He booms down to you.
What, the fire? No, I'm pretty sure that's your doing.
The said fire kind of dances across his face, like in sharp enough contrast that the shadows kind of flicker, and it's kind of difficult to tell exactly which expression the old warrior is wearing. But the old warrior continues, and this place, is it under your protection?
Yes.
Um,
And also, just saying, I thought you guys were after the illithid, so why the fuck are you burning down our city? Sounds kind of counterproductive.
As Hiram shouts that up, the rest of you notice that the riders on the two flanking dragons, they kind of like you see them scowl, and like their faces contort into ones of anger as Hiram just kind of shouts up to this Kithrak.
Hey man,
But-
I was trampled by a dragon and almost died. I think I get it. I get to do this at least just once.
And Cutting Off, like his head lowers and his whole face kind of disappears into shadow. In exchange for your valor, we will leave this place, he says. And the four githyanki riders turn to look at him in shock. And the old gith looks side to side. Spread the words. The attack is over, he says. And like there's starts of protestations from the raiders, and there's a snarl from Cutting Off, and the githyanki silence themselves. The dragons have this look of disappointment on their faces as their snouts kind of furrow, like bunch up, and the two flanking dragons fly off in different directions to spread the word. And Cutting Off sits astride, he like lands on the ground on the dragon. You feel the ground shake ever so slightly, and he looks to you, to Hiram, to answer your question. There are a great many questions, of which the answers I do not agree with. But, just as you have saved my kin and hearth, I repay the favor.
I think Hiram is going to speak up one more, just a Kanoth. Just so
Yes.
you know, we did lose one of ours because of you and your kin. I appreciate you leaving the rest of us be, but I just want you to know that that also will be remembered.
Ooh, nice.
He looks to you, and like he nods. It's a solemn. It's the nod of an old warrior that understands. Remember, Hiram of House Silversword. We Gith are a fractured race, a fractured people. Consider my debt resolved, he says.
Right.
And if no one wants to say anything before he goes,
Catcher leans around Aaron. Good to see you again. And then hides back behind Aaron.
you see the Kithrak whisper something into the dragon's ear, and the dragon kind of stands up on its hind legs. There's a big waft of air, embers and flames kind of fly off the nearby houses as this dragon launches itself into the air. The old githyanki gives you all one last look before he turns, and you see him kind of flying to intercept other dragons. And sure enough, over the next few minutes, you start to see kind of dragons beginning to leave and move away from the Western District. as the dragons go, you see a number of sort of like purple dragons and commoners kind of starting to appear out of like alleyways and shelters, just kind of seeing if what's happening and why everything's stopping. And yeah, a nearby purple dragon kind of comes out and what's happening, she says.
Well, the dragons are gone. As I imagine a building collapses behind it with fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe worth going to the other house and see that everyone is out.
The purple dragons kind of look to you all, and there's this kind of cautious hope on their faces. And Aaron, who looks quite sooty, just kind of nods to them and gather everyone you can find. Search for the wounded. Get them help if you can. And the purple dragons kind of nod and they run off. Aaron turns to you lot and, well, I'm going to join them, but you fought well, Warhounds, he says with a sly smirk, just kind of glancing at the headless dragon next to him.
Thanks for the help.
And with that, Aaron and the purple dragon's gonna nod and off they go. And yeah, you are left in the streets of Suzail as the fires kind of reach out, and kind of mingle with one another in the skies overhead.
Balthazar will try and look for a well
Mm-hmm.
and use control water to try and dampen some of the fires.
Sure. Okay.
Catcher steps forward and is like, so, I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed his very sort of pointed words at the end there. I think there may be civil war between our good friend and the hunter who hates.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be getting on that well when we last met them, did they?
Yes, ma'am. If not addressed to a war, but at least disagreement.
Yes. I think what he was trying to imply was what happened on the North Lid he didn't agree with.
Well, not to be mean about this, but that's a them problem that they probably should have sorted out before they came here.
As you mull on this, Balthazar, you absolutely managed to find a nearby well. It's not a very well maintained well, given the kind of the poorer economic state of this particular district, but it is enough to you managed to pull the water out of the underground reservoir and sort of like shape it and use it to quench the more severe fires, quench the worst of it nearby. Cool. As you go and sort of like more purple dragons and commoners start filtering out and sort of like helping you and sort of helping one another. What's everyone else doing? Slate, you are still a water myrmidon.
I would like to not be a water myrmidon because I feel like I could just do better having control water, which I have got. So I'd rather turn back into... I think I'd turn into Chiron at this point. And yeah, I would also choose to use control water.
Okay.
Let me see, does it work at higher levels? No, doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, I'll just do that.
Beautiful. What is...
And help.
Okay, are you kind of helping alongside Balthazar, or are you going off in a different direction?
Probably going elsewhere just to try and make sure that more ground is covered. I think Balthazar is a fairly strong individual who can take care of a row of houses himself.
Sure, okay. So, between the two of you, you kind of start using your magic to put out these fires. What's everyone else doing? Zumbo, What is Umber doing?
Yeah, so he probably watches Slate and Balthazar use their magic for a bit, and then Betty kind of, where she's sat on his hatch, kind of just taps him on the head a few times, and he turns into a watery version of himself.
Yeah.
Probably starts yelling in discomfort, and Betty kind of steers him into the burning buildings, and basically running him through some of the smaller fires that
Sure.
Balthazar and Slate may have missed, and he's kind of sizzling as he goes.
Okay. Okay, so Hiram and Katya, you've just watched kind of Balthazar and Slate go off, and they're just kind of water bending well water to put out these fires. Zumbo turns into a walking puddle. Yes, El.
Can I just ask?
Yes.
With the purple dragons, well, no, with the war wizards, is there like a faction of the war wizards which is like the orange dragons, and they're just specifically for like fire, and they're just like
Well, like the fire service of
yeah, but they are all basically water spells based, and they're just like
I'd
love that.
Unfortunately not. No, the purple dragons get that duty. But we should put it forward in the next Cormyrian committee meeting.
when I am queen, says Ameline.
They use like the light spell, like red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue.
So Katya and Hiram, you've just watched as Zumbo's turned into a living walking puddle. What are you two doing while this is all happening?
Looking for survivors.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you're helping the relief effort, you're able to like Katya, you're able to kind of call out and scope, do your best to find. Actually, how are you helping?
I've got quite a few detect thoughts per day, 3 of them left, so I guess you can also sort of like listen out for thoughts and things, and use mage. Yeah, use mage hand where possible, and if that doesn't work, blow off the doors with telekinesis.
Sure. And then Hiram, are you using your big strong muscles to dig out any of the
Yeah,
tracks?
I mean.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So in that case, yeah, over the space of the next, well, realistically, it's the next few hours. You are able to kind of work through various areas of this kind of western district and find individuals. You're able to put out the fires before the fires themselves are relatively isolated because of the construction of buildings in Suzail. It's very specifically that they're built to stop the fire spreading through the city, but through your actions you're able to stop the buildings that are on fire from being damaged further. Some of them which were damaged in the attack, Katya and Hiram, you're able to as a duo both silently detect and then physically rescue these individuals, and the commoners and the purple dragons that are helping you are massively grateful for Heroes of Cormyr to be helping them in such a time of need. As you're doing this, Balthazar, I think it'll be you that notices that whilst this area of the city seems to be getting relatively well looked after, considering that there are still battles involving the githyanki happening elsewhere in the city. Like you can still see off in the distance, gouts of flame from specks that are kind of buzzing around the building tops. You can still see the ships kind of looming overhead ominously. But it really does look like this western district has just, like, the attack for this area of the city has been called off, and it feels like it's safer to be here than anywhere else. In other areas, there might not necessarily be active attacks going on, but it looks like some areas of the city have fallen to the githyanki.
Do you know what sort of direction that would be?
It would. So the areas to the south, so the docks and the kind of like the trade district along the south of Suzail, that looks like it's currently being just occupied by githyanki. There seems to be like Zumbo, as you're being led through buildings, and Betty leads you upstairs onto some roofs to put out some roof tile fires. You can see there seems to be like an ongoing battle within the palace grounds, but it doesn't. You watch it for long enough, it doesn't seem like the fight's going one way or t'other. And yeah, further afield, as say, you can just about make out these little specks, which you assume to be dragons, just kind of burning parts of the city on the eastern side.
Shall we go and see, maybe help the areas where the fighting is still ongoing? I mean, I feel like the rescuing we could leave to them.
Yeah, I wonder if Slate Balthazar, that water magic you got, that's pretty impressive. How much could you do with the water down by the docks? I mean, you put out a few buildings with just a well, so maybe if you guys went to the docks, you could
Can I keep it up for a few
do
minutes?
even more. Oh, okay. All right.
I wonder, could we? I don't know. I don't know if you maybe think, or maybe Zumbo. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to go check on my family if I can. If you guys don't need me that badly, but I will go where I'm most needed, obviously.
I think that's only fair. We could come with you and help, or you can.
Yeah, we can all go. Are they en route to the palace?
Sort of. No, it's a bit of a detour because they would be somewhere in this area, aren't they?
Yeah.
So the noble district is northeast of you, so it's like the next district along.
Got number 12 tilde on the map.
Yeah. Better.
Well, Magnus went that way, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Magnus went in that direction.
Yeah, it's a bit of a detour.
Well, I'm sure Magnus could use the help.
Yeah, maybe we all head in that general direction, and Hiram, you can peel off with Emily to look after your family, and you can meet us back at the palace once you know they're safe.
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure.
All right.
So who's going to the Silversword area?
I think just me and Emily.
And where's everyone else going?
Well, somebody's thinking is that if the palace falls or whatever, then that's going to be a pretty big blow to morale.
Okay.
But
my thinking, and I would say this to Balthazar, to Hiram, to everyone basically, is there no way we should be contacting, the hunter? I mean, maybe we could at least distract her for a while. She's obviously at odds with her own people in some ways.
We can try. I'm not sure if that would make it better, the situation better or worse, though.
We will need to deal with her eventually.
Yeah.
Just before, well, as you kind of ponder on this, Hiram, you take this opportunity to kind of scoot off up towards.
Well, if you give us 10 minutes, Catcher can create the chat room as well.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea.
It'll take 10 minutes to get over there, won't it? At least.
Yeah, we'll be walking together until it's
Yeah.
needed, right?
You can walk and cast, right?
I believe so with rituals.
Sure. Yeah.
It's more about just pulling thoughts together. So.
Just looking like the techno Viking going down the street.
Yes.
So, okay. In which case, the group of you kind of begin heading kind of northeast, so towards like the Promenade. So Hiram can carry on, and then you can move on to the next district. As you're going along, Balthazar, you hear,
Yep.
Balthazar! and there's like pit-patting footsteps, and as you turn, you see kind of Daisy running up the street towards you with this fuzzy lump of a wombat kind of chasing after her.
Daisy, what are you doing here?
Daisy kind of gets up to you and she kind of doubles over as she catches her breath, and like her head kind of flips from side to side as she kind of looks at the chaos and the carnage.
Balthazar will pick her up.
I came to find you. I didn't know if you'd be safe or not.
Yeah, I'm good. Stay with us. We'll keep you safe.
She kind of looks to you and she looks to you here, Ammon. You look like you've been through the ringer.
Oh, that's because I have.
And she looks around and you didn't have to fight any of those dragons, did you?
Oh, no. Way too dangerous for us.
That's good, she says, with a very sincere smile on her face. As that happens, like you can see Balthazar the wombat like approaches the body of a githyanki that's on fire, and just kind of like sniffs it a few times, and then just like kicks it for revenge. And you see silhouetted in some nearby flames the silhouettes of 6 adventurers as they kind of step out onto the promenade and approach you. And
That look really cool.
They do look really, really cool.
Like heroic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look heroic by just standing like this. Like trying to just like look as like heroically in charge as possible. Probably put my foot on the burning githyanki, and then go, ah!
I like to think whilst that's happening, there's a burning wombat that goes, oh no! Just in the middle of the scene.
Oh, these poor wombats.
Balthazar, come here! Wait! What do you do?
There is still a wombat infestation. So yes, it could well happen. They've got loads of hit points. They're fine. As Daisy kind of is pulled up onto your kind of arm, shoulder, Balthazar. You all see the war dogs approach you, and the black robed floating figure kind of glides up to you, Balthazar and Daisy, and please, we were worried we had lost you. Tabula implores.
Talking to us?
Well, to Daisy in particular, and she just kind of waves them off, and I'm fine, she says. And Malka approaches you and thank the spirits that you're fine, she says. The fighting looked fiercest in the direction that you headed towards, so I'm glad of your safe return.
Glad you're safe as well. It was a tough one. We gotta help more people.
They look around, and Jick is kind of stood amongst them, and she's got her arms pulled into her chest, and she's just kind of like she can see these flecks of ash kind of coming off of nearby fires, and you can see her just kind of very quickly moving her head out of the way of oncoming ash, in lest any of them tickle the tip of her nose.
Katya brings over a handkerchief and puts it round her head and ties it.
Jick is being kidnapped, she shouts as you wrap the handkerchief around her head.
No, Jick, this will stop your nose from being tickled.
And she... sorry, did you just do it like over a...
Yeah, so it's like a bandit mask, basically.
Okay. And she... and then she grabs the bottom corner and just like... kind of pulls it over her head, so she's just...
No, Jick, over... pulls it back over the mouth.
Thank you, she says.
It's okay, Jick.
And Bodger kind of looks to you all, like side eyes Daisy on your shoulder, Balthazar. Where exactly is it you're going? Because I reckon that a solid plan to divide and conquer, and we can get the city under control in no time.
You tell us your plan first, and then we'll tell you.
Well, I think your plan should be using Midnight Raven as bait to lure the dragons down, and then you can hopefully be a little too late.
Midnight Raven flicks his hair and a wonderful plan, and I would not blame the draconian overlords overhead of giving in to such base desires, says the half elf.
And I'll nudge Katya and just be like, careful, Katya. Sometimes an early death can make their songs more valuable, so careful.
I also have a spell that modifies memories, so I'm not worried.
Malka kind of peers down to you all, and we were planning on heading further east along the city, seeing if there was anything of any help needed in the trade district to the south. But we might also see if we can make our way to the Society of Stalwart Adventurers, just to see how they are faring and if they can help us in our endeavors to defend the city.
Well, I'd hope they'd already be out, saving people, but I think that's a damn good idea, considering how bad it looks over there.
This kind of towering Goliath woman nods to you, and if nothing else, we wouldn't want the Warhounds to upstage us on the action now, would we? She says with this kind of smirk as she kind of readjusts her grip on her maul.
All right, then. How many dragons have you fought, and how many? Let's just put it down, and then once we've got a tally, we'll see who's the more warrior of the canines.
Bodger looks at you and sounds like a deal. None at the moment, but we're just giving you a head start, aren't we?
I guess.
So, the war dogs kind of look to you, and Tabula looks once again to Daisy and, do you wish to accompany us, or are you happier with the Warhounds? This ethereal creature says, and Daisy kind of looks to you, Balthazar, and what?
Stay with us.
What do you think? Do you think it's safe enough with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be
Just
okay.
a random bed. Stay with your husband. You get +2 AC.
You get +2 AC. Stay with me.
Not wrong. You are not wrong.
AC of 12.
Yes. Daisy kind of nods, and I'm going to stay with the Warhounds, if that's okay with you. And Tabula just kind of nods very slowly, and then just kind of drifts away.
That thing remind anyone else of those bloody shadows on the boat? Scares the heck out of me.
The female dwarf, who once again has been utterly silent in this interaction, just kind of looks to you, Zumbo, as you say that, and she just kind of gives you a discreet but firm nod. And with that, the 6 warhounds, the 5 war dogs, beg your pardon, turn and leave, and they take a few steps before they realise that Jick is still stood in front of you with this kind of gormless smile. Well, you assume she's smiling. You can see her chin poking out from the bottom of the handkerchief she's got over her head, and she's just kind of like looking at you one by one. And
Oh no, not in a smoke-filled city. No, I've seen what her sneezes can do.
You hear one of the war dogs call for her, and Jick turns around and Jick go, Jick, we'll see you later, yes?
Of course, Jick.
Yay! She shouts. And
I can't believe they got her.
like you see her, like as she runs, you notice that she's got a definite flat-footed, like meat slap kind of run, almost like a waddle. Yeah, she just kind of chases after them. And you see like Malka like turn, and there's this kind of motherly look on Malka's face as she kind of reaches down and kind of places her hand behind Jick's head to just kind of guide her in.
Anne,
Yeah.
did you make Jick the reverse Emily of their group?
She's almost as lethal as Emily.
Oh,
Not quite.
Whereas like Emily is chaotic order. Jick's just chaos.
Yes. Yeah, we will
well-
leave that for the fanfics.
While they go off, Karen will just shout out at them. 1 up. It's 1-0. You got 0. You got 1. Think we're gonna win.
You watch as the war dogs kind of wander down the street. They're sort of like talking amongst one another whilst also kind of keeping an eye out for any dangers. You watch as a building to their left, so just down the promenade, explodes out as this red scaled head kind of lunges through the corner of the building, and you see this githyanki rider like on the back of a dragon like come swooping down towards the war dogs. The war dogs all kind of drop into a defensive position. Jick turns around, panics, and sneezes, and you just watch as this red dragon turns into balls.
God.
See, I told you, that could have been us.
On our team.
And like you see the war dog's just kind of frozen in the middle of the street looking at this goblin who's fallen on her back. And you can just about hear her shouting, "What happened? What was that?" she says as bubbles kind of rain down from the sky.
That one doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
So they disappear off into the next district over. You find yourselves kind of on the promenade, and Hiram, you're kind of eyeing this street next to you to head up towards the noble district. Now you know that the war dogs are kind of heading off to in one direction. Who's like what do you plan to do now?
Gonna go to Hiram's house, right?
That's just me and Emily. You guys are going
Yeah,
to the palace,
I think we
right?
can basically like drop him off at
Okay.
the gate, I guess, and then he can meet us.
Sure.
Gotcha.
He's
Alright.
checked in on his family.
Let's do that.
I don't
Drop
think
them
it
off.
makes sense for you guys to come all the way though, because that will be all the way here on the map.
Okay, sure.
You guys
Yeah.
going to the palace, so we can
Go as far together as we can, I guess.
yeah maybe come like this way or this way and just part ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although I suppose if that is that the entrance to the palace there, because if so, we need to walk past your family's home to get in it.
That is a question.
Well-
Is do you guys want to do the extra travel? Like, how worried are we about Raedra and Ezerad?
Oh, not that worried, but I mean the throne. Yes.
We'll have a lot of soldiers guarding it, I suppose. So
Yeah, I mean, between a lot of you, you think that between a warrior, a powerful warrior such as Raedra, the royal guards, the fact that dragons arguably couldn't really fit inside, so it'd just be kind of they'll be torching the outside, but the githyanki would be running around inside.
I mean, this is a designed dragon stronghold, like not stronghold, but like this is designed to keep dragons away, right? Generally.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's
I
pretty
mean,
much made for it, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, in the past, so it was on the very walls of the palace that Raedra slew the reincarnation of the purple dragon, Damora Glorgorus. I mean, it's designed to be it's designed to be a palace. Like, it's also designed to be like a castle stronghold. But yeah, you would suspect Hiram, especially with your kind of tactical military knowledge, that like if there are githyanki in the grounds, then there's going to be it'll be a long skirmish, like trying to, everyone kind of running up and down corridors and kind of fighting in the halls.
Okay.
I definitely want
Go
to.
by Hirams. Go by Hirams and then to the castle.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we should definitely try and scope out Magnus as well. He's one of ours. You know, I mean, I know he's not one of ours anymore, but he's been one of ours, and yeah.
Sure.
He's our friend. We should not let him on.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, in that case, you all begin making your way up through the noble district, like the northern district of Suzail. You know, normally it would be day and night. The difference between the western district and the northern, the difference in wealth is clear to see. Whereas, you know, where you've just left had cramped, kind of cobbled together buildings, and you know, places of work and homes are usually one and the same, and it's almost got a, like, whilst everything's still a townhouse, you can see that there's no real distinct kind of design to the district as a whole. The moment you kind of step over the street, you can see these kind of large, sprawling mansion houses that reach up to the sky. They're all kind of fenced or gated off. There's kind of large green grounds. And, I mean, I think between, say, Katja and Hiram, your levels of kind of comfort, in a way, kind of shift in opposite directions as you leave one area for the next. Levels of familiarity, I should say, change as you move from one area to the next. You make your way through. There's you see a lot of the buildings, like a lot of the manor houses, have been damaged, but you can see a lot of kind of mercenaries and household guards out on the streets, kind of keeping an eye out to the skies, just, you know, for any kind of nearby dragons. Luckily, the dragons seem to have largely disappeared from this area, so it seems that it'd just be kind of roving bands of githyanki and the ships above, like overhead, which kind of cast this distinct shadow across the city. There's not as much kind of panic and emotion visible or audible on the streets. You notice that's one difference, which is kind of gives the area this kind of eerie feeling, where the sounds of crackling and timbers breaking and whatnot just sounds that much more loud.
Christmassy?
just more loud, because they're not going to drown out by the wailing of children and the cries of the wounded. As you
No one's here. They're all in their winter homes up in up in the north.
Yeah. You head down the kind of the long street, the Hiram that you know as home, kind of growing up, and on your right, next to Hunt Silver House, you see the gates of the Silversword Estate. As you kind of come around the final corner, you see a number of bodies on the ground. And as you rush up, you notice that these bodies are kind of burnt and scarred. But kicking one of them over, you recognize the bodies to be largely githyanki. And from out of a bush, like Magnus steps out, looking a bit tired and cut and bruised and weary. And it's about bloody time you got here, he says, looking to you all.
Have you been hiding in a bush?
Busy, yes, I have been busy. Thank you very much. But they didn't stand a chance. There's nothing that a solid application of fireball does not solve. If need be, 2 fireballs. And he looks at you and, why are you up here? And he stops and he looks to his left and, oh, that would be why, he says, looking up at the Silversword House.
Yeah.
How's the Western District? Is it okay?
Hot.
Just- But
Rest the
generally,
Empire.
generally in one piece.
Good.
As kind of, more fiery, but not necessarily too much different in terms of damage,
All right.
except for the fire.
I'm gonna let you guys talk about this. I'm gonna go check on my family, and I will meet you at the palace.
Magnus says, wait, why are we going to the palace?
Do you not want to go to the palace?
What? And
Do you
he
not want to
looks,
check on Radra?
and he can see sort of like dragons perched up on the walls, and he's just gonna.
Oh yes. So listen to the others, and there's some explanation, but I've gotta go.
And
Magnus
Before Hiram goes, Karen will just go up and just say, if you need anything, just shout. We'll
Well,
be here.
Yeah, group chat.
Ah.
Yeah, I will reach out.
Okay. So, Hiram, you kind of disappear off, and as you do disappear off, Magnus kind of turns to the rest of you, and the War Wizard College is now back under Cormyr control. It seems that the githyanki didn't even particularly know that they were attacking a building that was literally filled to the brim with war wizards. Some of them had to be de-wombatted. Don't ask. But as soon as we had significantly less wombat fur attached to all of our war wizards, we managed to see the vast majority of the githyanki off. So yeah, we're sorted. The day is saved.
Good. I think we need to go to the palace next.
Magnus kind of looks and he looks to you and Radra's at the palace, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, so.
And he kind of stands up straight and his moustache bristles a little bit.
Would you like to go first, Magnus, to seem more heroic?
Yeah, by all means.
And you see he's torn, but he looks up and it would arguably be quite difficult trying to find her in that place. That castle's designed to be a maze. But he looks up, and this whole attack doesn't stop until they're gone, he says, pointing an accusatory finger to the skies above. In particular, that one, he says, pointing at the flagship, which is hovering directly over the palace.
Should we go up there?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, and Hiram's got a new griffin power, right?
Yeah.
Not available for how many hours?
Well, we'll see.
We go up there and we scald the ship, just like we did last time.
Yeah, we're great at losing ships.
I don't think taking on air is going to bring them down as much as say water does to a Aphis. Otherwise, that's rather a flawed design, I think, of an airship.
You put a hole in it and then.
Could you maybe fill it with rocks?
That's a good idea. Throw rocks at it. Throw rocks at it.
No boat we've ever got on has survived more than a few hours, so I reckon we just go up there and something will happen.
Yeah.
We're quite good at stealth missions, so I guess we could sneak on fairly well.
Magnus looks up and says, I was talking to one of the war wizards, and it seems that once the war wizards had rallied and Gandrahast, the Mage Royal, once he'd kind of begun reorganizing the defenses, and the githyanki largely scarpered, he's already got a few plans to help stop this. They're astral travelers, right? They're planar travelers. They come from somewhere else. They came through portals.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to take some time, but currently our plan is to hold off long enough that we can just, open a portal and just send them back.
Okay.
So, as long as we're all in one piece by the time that happens, because it's not very often that you try to cast the banish spell on an entire fleet of spaceships. But yeah, I think we might have it in hand.
Hang on, if they can just travel freely between different realms or whatever you call them, what's to stop them just coming right back?
Well, we'll be ready for them next time.
Oh,
that's real comforting. Yeah, good.
Magnus kind of pauses and, well, it might be worth kind of scattering their forces as best we can, maybe taking out the leadership or something, but at the moment, that is a problem, he says, like gesturing to the ships overhead again.
Okay, let's go there.
Go, what, up there?
Yeah, sure.
How are you planning on doing that?
Catapult.
Swim. Catapult.
Are you all right, Balthazar?
Steal a dragon. Yeah, let's steal a dragon.
yeah, we should definitely steal it. I think Balthazar's got it right. Let's steal a dragon.
Have you? He looks to the rest of you. Has he taken one too many blows to the head?
I think we've all taken one too many blows to the head.
Grand Theft Dragon.
And Magnus looks to you, and it might be. What he looks at, like he looks around and he notices that you obviously hear him. You've now definitely disappeared inside, and Magnus just kind of looks around for. He starts mulling aloud about somewhere safe to go, and he kind of looks to you all with this kind of quizzical look on his face. And on the one hand, he gestures to the Silversword Estate. Well, we could just invite ourselves in, or we could go back to the college. I'm sure you'd be welcome in the college. Perhaps
At that point,
I might need
Chiron.
Yeah, go on.
At that point of the mention of college, Chiron's like, "Oh, that could be a good idea."
Thinking of Robert.
We
yeah.
could meet
The
up.
Abilene.
We could meet up with Robert. Yes.
Well, we can't really just leave him here. He's expecting us to meet up with him.
I mean,
At
he's
this
still
point,
connected.
you guys hear a voice like, "Just go wherever, I will find you."
What is the plan? We're going to the War Wizard College? Is that the idea?
Or we could go to the Stalwart Adventurers to
Or you could,
make sure the.
Yeah. So
Make sure
I mean,
make sure the taps still work.
you could head to.
What are we going to do there? Nothing. Okay.
So by all means, you could go to the College of the War Wizards. You could break into Silversword Estate. You could head south into the Royal Park to go to the Palace and the Royal Court Castle, or you can carry on round your loop towards the eastern districts, the Society of Stalwart Adventurers. But there does seem to be like a greater amount of fighting going on the eastern side of the city.
Can't we go to the College of War Wizard, get some wizard to cast fly on us, and we're going to go to the ship? Huh?
After a magic long rest, which isn't really a long rest.
Don't need a long rest, just go for it.
Magnus, have you got any I don't know, like War Wizard bombs, magic bombs of some kind? We can get up onto the ship and just, you must have loads of stuff.
He nods. Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, well then, sorted.
But I've cast Fireball. I'm all out of fireballs for today.
I mean,
But the college must have some. We need, if anything, we can exact the revenge that we need to.
Earlier, when I mentioned that there was no problem that could not be solved with suitable application of Fireball, that is something that was liberally used to fend off the Githyanki.
Right.
I meant more of like a device or like an artifact or something that you built.
The idea that war wizards would construct something extremely powerful and destructive to help us win large-scale battles is utterly ridiculous, he says. And he kind of stands and puts his hip next to Balthazar.
It's ridiculous, Sampo. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, cinematically, imagine the whole party is just slowly looking from Magnus to Balthazar.
Balthazar's got a wombat and his wife on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wasn't joking about the whole catapult thing, except of sending us up. We could just fill it with alchemist fire. I mean, we know that works to sort out problems.
We could just send Jick up, to be honest.
Yeah, why is your answer to everything arson, Katya?
I mean, why are you targeting me when Magnus literally said the answer to everything is also fireball?
For some reason, I can only hear
Oh
you
yeah,
in the picture at
Magnus
the
is
moment.
not connected.
Yeah, but he's a wizard, Katya.
Okay, so should we go? What was the college, or are we gonna go fight in the other side of the city?
Or are you gonna sneak into the palace?
There's nothing
I
to do in the
don't
palace, though.
see. Yeah, I mean, even Magnus is being kind of closed off about the palace.
He's probably had an argument with Raedra.
Yeah.
Let's not be remiss, and we shall let Ameline have a look at Robert.
She's very dangerous to be around when she's riled up. That's all I'm saying. That sword's got a big swing on it.
Yeah, +3 longsword.
What are we actually going to do at the college? Just hide there?
If
No,
nothing
Get
else,
bombs.
we can strategize with other war wizards.
Yeah.
As much as I don't love the war wizards, I think at the moment they're our best chance of success in this endeavor. A
So
massive building full of high level mages.
And are you sure they're going to be okay with all the antics you supposedly pulled? They're not going to arrest you on sight, are they?
That's why you're coming, he says to you.
Yeah, we're not going to be as good a protection as you think. The war wizards want to arrest you. I think we're going to let them because fireball.
I would hope that currently the war wizards have bigger fish to fry.
I'll
And
protect
then
you,
he
Magnus.
gestures frantically at the ships overhead again.
Smash cut to Magnus being dragged away in shackles like, but you bigger fish to fry! Doors close. Catches. I warned him.
well, Eastern District then, and then we'll all walk off. No, as a player, I'm definitely like, oh, should we help more people because that's you know. But I don't know. It seems quite good to be able to find out how to deal with the actual issue.
I want to bomb the warship. That's what I want to do.
Bomb the warship. Bomb the
We
warship.
need to go find Subtle Brannock.
And try and get him on side.
Mass produce his
Good
broomstick.
joke, but we know he's in the city.
He is in the city.
Get
The war wizards to mass produce it, and we just all stand there, just 101 gun salute.
I feel like surely they'll be in the trade area because of how close it is to the docks.
Possibly, yeah, they could be in the south. Although the last time you saw them, they were in the royal docks, so like in the Citadel, the Purple Dragons. So that's the southeastern corner of the city. But yeah, okay. So last calls. Where do the Warhounds, Sans, Hiram want to go?
What was the college?
Okay. Cool.
But before we go, I want to switch to Ameline and dust myself up a bit.
Why is that, Slate?
Just no reason.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
Just in case.
Just add a little bit of soot to your nose, like, oh, I helped.
Cool.
I burned someone to a crisp.
So, as the 6 of you, including Magnus, 8 of you, including Balthazar the Wombat and Daisy, head up to the War Wizard College. Hiram, you kind of rush across the estate grounds, and sort of like you stop in the path up to the main building, and you can see that whilst the estate has by and large avoided quite a lot of rough and tumble, there's a big heavy burn mark across the roof and across some of the upstairs windows, which are just kind of shattered from presumably the heat. but kind of looking around, it doesn't seem to have been any significant fighting on the grounds themselves. And sort of like as you rush in, you kind of make your way to the main hall, and as you look around, you just about like you notice cowering kind of behind a curtain one of the serving staff, like one of the house staff.
Oh, I go up to them.
And she looks out and, Lord Silversword, she says as she kind of falls out. Oh, thank the gods you're safe, Lord Silversword. Master Silversword.
Yes, are you alright? Where is everyone else?
We like this woman just kind of starts sobbing and crying. I don't know, Master Silversword. When I heard the dragons, I just ran and hid.
Yeah, that's okay. That was very very clever. Just why don't you come with me? We'll find everyone else. We should be safe now.
And she kind of looks a bit wary of your, like she looks doubtful of your words, but then she kind of like,
well,
she
we are not.
takes
Yes,
in your
she actually does
presence.
say like, well, we are not in the immediate danger of being burned alive, so there is that.
Sure. Well, I mean, she takes in your kind of your physical, like your physical aura, like your presence, and you see that it just seems to fill her with a little bit more kind of courage, and she, absolutely, the rest of the Silversword should be somewhere in the building. Your father and your brothers and sisters, and your brother and sister and your grandfather, they should be around. We should see if we can find them.
Yeah, we should. Let's go.
And with that, the two of you begin heading through the mansion. As you make your way, like you go room by room, and when you kind of head upstairs, again going room by room, but you finally make your way to the like your grandfather's study. So you see the heavy, dark, wooded, kind of decorated door that of your grandfather's study. And as you kind of look to this housemaid, and you open the door, give me a dex save.
Really? Dex of all things. Okay, hold on. 9.
9. Okay. So as you open the door, there is a boing! There's the sound of a bolt being fired, and this crossbow bolt ricochets off your armor, like leaving a dent on your shoulder pad. And as you kind of duck out the way and peer back round, you hear, "There's another one where that came from!"
Can there not be another one where that came from, please?
And looking around inside again, you see your grandfather, Arvin Silversword, with this hunting crossbow, like pointed, and he's just kind of in the middle of racking in another bolt. And come out and here I am.
Yes.
Why didn't you?
Wait, did you not look when you were shooting at someone?
Of course not, here I am. There are dragons outside.
That's not how you aim with a crossbow.
So as you shout that, you sense like an awkward shuffling down by your feet, and like Emily looks up to you as she kind of pulls her face and says, "It's how I aim."
Yes, but it also shows.
She furrows her brow. I think I've managed to take down more people than you, Hiram.
I mean, we can make a competition out of it if you like.
Yes, please, she says. And it's the most excited you've seen Emily looking in a very long time.
Okay, we will start keeping a tally.
Okay. So, as your grandfather kind of lowers his crossbow, you hear a number of kind of voices kind of cry out your name. And before long, your two half siblings, Gavin and Janina, they kind of come running up to you, and like Janina kind of gives you a big hug around the around the waist. And Hiram, I thank the gods that you're safe. Thank Timora for your safe return. Are you all right? She looks you up and down. You look like you've been in the mouth of a dragon.
Well, funny you should say that. Not in a mouth though, but now I definitely know what how a dragon's feet smells. It's not great. And as I'm saying this, I'm actually as I'm hugging her, I'm gonna check for any injuries, and if she's okay, then I'm going to just grab the brother by the shoulder and just also check on him by just awkwardly patting him on the shoulder.
So as you pull in Gavin, your half brother, for an embrace, he kind of looks you up and down. And so you mean to say that you went toe to toe with a dragon? You don't even have any war wounds to show for it. I expected better of you, Hiram.
Did you want me to have wounds?
With his smirk. Well, if not you, if not me, the ladies for sure. He says, with his smirk, and he just kind of gives you a playful punch. But no, I'm glad to see you in one piece. This is a bizarre day for sure. He says.
Yeah, and that was even without the wombats.
As Arvin, your grandfather, looks at you confused at the mention of wombats, you hear, "What? No hello for your father?"
Hello, father.
You turn to kind of look into the opposite corner of the room, and sort of like in one of the big plushy kind of high arm armchairs, you see your father, Gareth, slowly and gingerly raise himself up from the chair to a standing position. On a nearby table, you see what appears to be like a ceremonial saber of some sort, and it appears to have been used. And like as he approaches you, you notice that he's cradling his arm, and he looks you up and down, and you look like you've been through. You look as bad as I feel, he says.
I wish people would stop telling me that. What happened to your arm?
He looks at him and kind of almost sneers, and it's nothing, he says. And Janina steps in, and some of those raiders got inside the building, and luckily father still remembers his fencing chops from his childhood, and he managed to see them off, but not before one of them got a good licking on him.
That's not good. Can I see? And without waiting for an answer, I'm actually going to grab his arm to take a look.
Like he goes to recoil, but you grab his arm, and as you pull him towards him.
Yeah, and I am gonna cast Cure Wounds first level.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so, Gareth. So your father starts to complain, but then as your hands glow, and he channels this magic into your arm, he kind of calms down a bit, and he looks shocked. Your father looks to you, and he's got this kind of surprised look on his face, and I didn't know you could do that, he says.
It's a somewhat recent development.
He nods, and interesting, he says, and like his mind seems to wander a bit as he looks down at your hands, which have now stopped glowing, and he looks you in the eye, and for the second time in your life, you see him wearing a mask of vulnerability, and he kind of snorts and, "Yes, well, thank you, Hiram," he says.
I'm glad everyone is okay. Where is grandmother?
Your grandmother's up in Arabelle, and she hasn't had last I heard she came to speak to you, but she hasn't managed to return yet.
I mean, that's lucky. I mean, this scenario.
Truth be told, I'm glad. Yes. Well.
Okay.
Where are the rest of the Warhounds, Hiram?
They are checking the group chat. They are going to the academy. I actually need to go and join them. I just wanted to make sure that that you were all okay before I went.
Where are the rest of the Warhounds, Hiram? Why is it always arson with you, Catcher? Okay. So they nod, and Gavin looks to you. Your brother kind of crosses his arms and sizes up to you, and well, between you and the rest of the Warhounds, I don't think there's I think there's very few people who we would trust as more to fight off a load of dragons. I mean, there's only a few dozen out there. That's all in a day's work for you, right? He says.
Well, the dragons are not the problem. The dragons are a problem, but they are not our biggest problem at the moment.
They're not the problem? Janina says.
Well,
what could be more problem than a dragon?
Okay, so I don't have the time to get into it. But if you could just gather everyone and go maybe underground for a while, that would be preferable. But also make sure you have lots of light around you.
So your siblings,
and air.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Your siblings look to one another a bit concerned, like confused. Your father seems somewhat nonplussed, but Arvin, your grandfather, holds you with this kind of very serious look, and we still have access to the underground tunnels and basements. We'll hide out down there.
Okay. If you think you can get other people to come with you safely, then I would recommend that too. Just the more people are off the streets and just in safe place, the better. Things are bad. Things are bad. I'm not sure how they're gonna go.
Arvin blinks, sort of like nods, and very well. We'll do what we can. And he kind of stops, and this isn't the first time that Suzail was attacked by a force of evil and dragons. We survived then, Hiram. We'll survive today as well.
Yeah, that's a good stance.
And yeah, this barrel-chested beast of a man just kind of nods to you and, come on, gather your possessions. Let me show you to the catacombs, he says.
And as we are about to leave the estate, I'm actually going to lean down towards Emin and say, hey kiddo, I know I just told you that we can keep a tally, but if you want to stay with my family, that's also an option for you, just so you know.
Emily looks up to you. Are you honestly thinking that you're going to stop me from shooting even more dragons? I thought better of you, Hiram.
I kind of need a head start, I'm not going to lie.
She kind of nods to your grandfather, and he seems proficient with a crossbow. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Okay.
So, with that, Aram, is there anything else you wish to do in the estate?
I think not really, but as we are leaving, he is going to just kind of unclip the brooch and just go like, how do I make this work again? Like, can I maybe recharge it if I just... And he's like furiously trying to clean it and things.
Rubbing your feet on the carpet, trying to get static charge going.
Yeah.
Rubbing literally your palms like batteries to warm them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's a magic lamp.
Yeah, the light is still red. It hasn't gone green yet. So, yeah, if there's nothing else you wish to do, are you gonna head over to the college to?
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, yeah, you make your way over to the college. As you kind of make your way through the steps, make your way through the streets, you see the college kind of dominating the skyline, and you can see the walls of Suzail almost immediately behind it. As you kind of head up the stairs towards the college, inside you see this battleground. You've only kind of seen the War College a couple of times. I mean, you've been here on kind of special meetings when you spoke with Ezred once upon a time, but the polished marble floors are now cracked and blackened. The drapes are torn, burnt, pulled down. You can see as you come up the stairs towards the college proper, you can see younger war wizards, sort of like porters, and the serving staff kind of carrying bodies out of the college and just kind of, for all extent purposes, just having to dump them at the bottom of the stairs, just to get them out of the building. And a lot of the bodies are kind of blackened and scorched. Looking around, you can see that one of the towers of the college, the roof has just been collapsed in. Like you can see, the roof has just been smashed in. There's rubble and masonry kind of scattered around the streets. As you enter into the main hall proper, stood in the middle of the room is a congregation of war wizards. And they all appear to be kind of locking eyes with one figure in particular. You see the rest of the Warhounds just kind of giving each other looks as these war wizards burn their eye beams into Magnus's head. As Magnus just kind of stands a little bit sheepishly in the middle, and I heard good reason, he's saying to them all. And you can see one of the war wizards kind of goes to say something but can't quite talk because his mouth is still slightly shaped like a wombat.
Oh god.
And Hiram, as you enter in, the Warhounds, you hear Hiram enter with Emily, and as you part and kind of Magnus turns to looking, you steps to the side, you hear, "Oh, very good of you to join us, Master Silversword." And as you look across the room, in amongst this throng of wizards stands Gandrahast, the Mage Royal of Cormyr.
Oh dear.
Have I met him?
Yes, you have. You again in the meeting
coronation?
with Ezred, and at the coronation, and once upon a time you saw him from afar when Rager was still on the throne. Yes.
Okay.
He looks to you and good of you to join us, he says, and he looks to you. Now, Warhounds, are we interested in disposing of a githyanki fleet? He says. And as he says that, we will grab a 10-minute break.
Nice.
Wait.
Okay.
Cool. We'll see you all in 10.
See you in a mo.
See you in 10.
See you, bye.
Hello, my name is Magnus Cobbleson, trusted advisor and champion of Raedra Oberskir, previous monarch and defender of Cormyr. Did you give yourself that title? Yes, I did. Right then. Well, it has come to our attention that you've not subscribed, and Cormyr's safety depends on your support. I am personally offering a reward for each subscription to the... What sort of reward? I haven't figured that out yet. I've subscribed, my lady. Absolutely not. But you, yes you, remember to subscribe for Cormyr. Welcome back, everybody.
Damn Dan.
Are you right? You good?
Good. It's a good break.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm glad. Let's play some more D&D, shall we? Cool.
Yeah.
Back in the room. So,
Go for it.
we rejoin the Warhounds as Hiram arrives at the College of the War Wizards on the northern edge of Suzail, in the aftermath of a particularly destructive and devastating dragon blitzkrieg, or githyanki blitzkrieg, aided by dragons and flying ships. So yeah, Hiram, you've entered into the main hall to find a large congregation of war wizards, of varying kind of degrees of age and power. Surrounding the Warhounds, accompanied by Magnus, who's looking somewhat sheepish, giving his very recent endeavours. And in amongst all of them is Gandrahast, the Mage Royal of Suzail, and arguably the most powerful spellcaster in Cormyr.
Yeah.
Besides Jick.
Besides Magnus.
So, Gandrahast looks to you and, well, now you're all gathered, he says, looking to you, and sort of like as he turns to you, his sort of like his reddish but kind of graying hair sweeps back from side to side. Like he looks to look at this man. He's kind of thin, wiry. You could even say kind of greasy, but that may be because of his recent exertions in repelling a githyanki assault. Yeah, he kind of looks to you with his beady eyes, is kind of pointing his crooked, like elongated crow's nose at you. Now that you're all gathered, might I suggest we retire to somewhere a bit more private to discuss our immediate plans, he says.
Lead on.
And Gandrahast and a couple of kind of war wizard Allophons. Gandrahast and a couple of war wizard inquisitors walk with you through the halls of the college until you find yourselves entering into a large, high-ceilinged kind of hall, which you would assume is used as perhaps like a food hall, perhaps at some points. You can see kind of ornate tapestries and enchanted kind of windows, which allow this kind of almost idyllic streaming of light to pass through them, just regardless of what's happening on the outside. And
as
Balthazar.
As they're walking by, Balthazar is giving Daisy the tour.
So it's like, oh, so there's the kitchen. That's where we used to have lunch. And if you go downstairs, that's where I used to work in the archives. And then, but sometimes I'd go up in the tower, but that don't really happen. And he's just, as they're walking along, pointing all the things.
And she sort of looks to you, and like her mouth just kind of hangs open as she kind of takes in the sights. You hear this almost constant wow from your other shoulder as this wombat takes in everything. And you've noticed that there's been a couple of war wizards that have kind of jumped at the sight of this wombat on your shoulder. Yeah, Daisy looks at you, and it's just everything's so big in the city, she says as she looks around. But as you get to this kind of meeting hall, one of the war wizards stops you, Balthazar, and she says to you, just yourself, I'm afraid. No +1s or 2s, she says, looking to Daisy and Balthazar.
Is that okay, Daisy?
She's still linked into the chat room, so she can hear anyway if we wanted to.
Did you link Daisy?
Well, she joined the group as I was still casting, so I had some space, so I pulled her and Drool into it. The only one I didn't pull was Balthazar, the wombat.
It's like adding someone to a WhatsApp group you don't really want them to be there, but you're like, oh, kind of did it now, and now you have to create another side group without that person. Yeah.
I love the way that you pulled in Drool over Balthazar, the wombat, who can actually talk.
Yes, but at least we know that Drool's thoughts aren't going to just go on and on and on.
True. That is true. That is true.
He strikes as that kind of person who's like, oh, I can talk in people's minds. What was I thinking about last week? Let me keep thinking about that one. I'm going to think about this new thing. Ever wonder why the sky's so blue and why the sea's so green?
So, Daisy looks to you, Balthazar, and that's fine. A lot of it would probably just go over my head. she says, and she kind of slides down onto your forearm so you can lower her to the ground, and you hear her. As Balthazar just kind of launches himself from your shoulder, kind of lands upside down.
I'll point them to somewhere safe, I guess.
Sure. Well, one of the nearby war wizards, an actual war wizard as opposed to an inquisitor, kind of nods and we'll take good care of her, of them, she says, and kind of Daisy smiles to you, and yeah, you're led off, or they are led off, I should say.
Cool.
So, as you enter in, Gandrahast, the Mage Royal, takes a seat at the far end of the table. It's this long white marble table with a number of kind of candelabras running the length of it. As he sits down, he places the staff kind of point down on the floor next to him, and as he lets go, the staff just kind of stays upright and slowly rotates next to him.
Dope.
And it's good to see you again, says Gandrahast. I've had quite an eventful day with adventurers, so it's good to see a band of heroes that are actually being useful to the crown.
You're welcome.
And he kind of looks at you all in turn. His eyes linger on Balthazar, on Magnus. Sorry.
Oh.
And from what I understand, you did quite a good job with defending the Western District, and for that, Cormyr thanks you. But in the grand scheme of things, this is not more than a minor victory, a fleeting celebration. If we do not deal with the problem at large, then all of our efforts today and tomorrow and any days beyond this are for naught. I have a plan, but I wish to recruit the expertise of the Warhounds to aid me.
Will it be a stealth mission?
We're good at those.
Gandrahast looks to you, and unfortunately, not. No.
Oh.
No,
Good. Can we do an exploding mission?
This will be the polar opposite of a stealth mission. In fact, I need you to do what you do best and create as much of a distraction and draw as much attention to yourselves as you possibly can. And in doing so, you will divert attention away from me and my fellow war wizards as we go about enacting a plan that will actually remove these astral interlopers from our city.
So yes, have you had much experience with the githyanki so far?
In passing, I've had drinks with some githyanki in my younger years, but I've never been on the violent end of a raiding party. That said, this does not constitute a raiding party. This is a full-on assault, and that in itself is somewhat unusual.
So, we have had probably a little bit more experience than you, I'd say. Yes, we've almost been on the receiving end of this kind of attack. So perhaps we could, perhaps we could do a bit more than just create a scene, if you will.
The vessel.
Unless, of course, the scene is to explode a giant ship out of the sky.
The vessel over the Dragonmere, you mean? The one that currently hovers not more than a few hundred yards over the parapets of the royal palace.
The double-hulled one, yes, that one.
I think the focus should be more on where the ship is, and if we want to bring it down where it is at the moment. I assume.
Well, arguably those are very finite particulars. The part that worries me most is the monstrosity that hangs between the two hulls of that flagship. We've not had that much chance to scry on it, to ascertain its true intentions, but from what we found in the Dragonmere not a week ago, as I'm sure you're well aware, that large cylindrical cannon-esque device mounted between the two hulls of that ship seemed to be some sort of devastating weapon. We have no interest in seeing it being used, and so my task for you would be to go up to that flagship and prevent its use. If you happen to be able to stall any further assaults, then that is even more preferable. But the destruction of that weapon is of our most imminent concern.
Yeah, we
You've
can help.
seen it in action. What can you tell me of it?
It seems pretty unstable, really. I don't know how it works, but if I don't know, it might destroy the ship itself. Can we overload it somehow?
Gamrahast shrugs. The only thing I know of is its destructive capability. From what we found of the Mind Flayer vessel in the Dragonmere, it is capable of extremely destructive power. I was hoping that you would be able to shed a bit more light on its operation.
I can show you.
How?
It depends if you'll let me into your mind. I can show you an image. I can show you exactly what happens as it happens.
Gandrahast stops, and I would rather you describe it to me.
You're okay. Your loss.
So as he says that, what, like, are you going to?
Yes, I imagine she just explains it then, but constantly sort of says, but I mean, if just constantly throwing in the, but it'd be better if I, no, okay, but, and then carries on with the explanation.
Okay. Gamrahast ponders on it for a while, and I could be wrong. It is unlikely to happen, but it does happen from time to time. But it sounds like it is some sort of focus for the raw energies of elemental chaos. The fact that it is able to draw in and direct that energy is impressive indeed. The architect of such a weapon must have been a prestigious creator.
Oh, we know who built it. We know
You
who
do?
built it. No. Out of character.
Okay. Gamrahast ponders, and
It shall forever be a mystery.
yes. So, yeah, if it is what I worry that it might be, then my resolve is increased tenfold. That thing cannot be allowed to be fired over anywhere within Suzail. The devastation it would wreak would be unfathomable. And so, I implore you, I wish you to locate yourselves to that flagship and do whatever it is that you do best. My only cause for concern is that between you and that vessel appears to be some sort of carrier for a number of those red dragons. Whilst some of the red dragons were slain in the streets, the vast majority of them have returned to the ship. And though the ballad that everyone sings so highly of you, although it paints a very heroic tale, even I Well, even you, I feel, will be hard pressed to make your way through that blockade of red scale and fire. So I would implore you to find some sort of solution to dealing with any dragons that might be coming towards you. Also, you would probably need some sort of method to get up to the ship.
So we'll just bring Aaron Fox and he'll deal with the dragons.
Who is this Aaron Fox?
He's a dragon slayer.
He says as his stomach for some reason twinges.
He thinks to himself, and that name does ring a bell, but it escapes me as to why. Nonetheless, how can this Aaron Fox help you?
Kill the dragons. Can you cast fly on us? Yeah. Can you cast fly on us?
I could, but I fear that you, even with your prowess, I fear that just having the ability to fly would not provide you much protection against a literal horde of red dragons. You would just be snapped out of the sky like flying hors d'oeuvres.
But if you and your lot were able to draw the dragons away from the ship, we could get up there. And once we're on board, not much the dragons can do, right?
Yes, here. Yes, Master Silversword.
What if we were dragons? How hard would it be to pull in some of us into dragons and some of us into githyanki soldiers?
I'll be a dragon.
You'd probably come out like a bronze dragon or something.
Yeah.
The vast... Hang on, let me just check
this. Wood dragon.
I'd have to be a true polymorph, which is like a 9th level spell, I think.
Yeah. The level of arcane prowess required to cast a spell such as a true polymorph is beyond the vast majority, beyond the scopes of the war wizards. We couldn't have potentially corruptible protectors of the realm going around transforming things into dragons now.
Oh. Sorry, I overestimated how much you can do.
I think the war wizards themselves, not me.
Your establishment.
Yes, Carl?
No, never mind. I was about to say wombats are clearly more your level.
So, Gamrahast kind of looks to you and do you have any ideas right now besides true polymorphs and world-changing spells? Have you got any plans for A, getting up to the ship, and B, stopping yourself being devoured on the way?
How about bait? Like the problem is that we can't really go full on arsony because it's above the city. But what if we can kind of lure them more towards the water?
Quite possibly. You'll have to figure something out on your own. Unfortunately, the war wizards and I will be busy preparing the ritual to have these ships banished back to whence they came. Perhaps even, instead of banishing them, I might give them a surprise and teleport them into the middle of a mountain on the plane of elemental earth. That would be one for the books, wouldn't it?
I am going to say that not all of them are happy to be here, so let's not do an overall coverage of punishment.
But they have dared to attack Suzail.
I know they are there to attack Suzail, but just so you know, there is a divide. Quite a few of them are not happy to be following the orders they are following. Let's not punish them if we can, because they are potential allies.
As you're such a whiz with teleports, why can't you just teleport us up there?
Gamrahast considers it. That is a potential option.
Yeah, it feels like the easier option, to be honest.
Free.
Through the chat
room. And the stealthy options.
Through the chat room, Catcher asked Balthazar, it's like, you can do sending, can't you?
Sure.
And Catcher at that point opens up the chat room to everyone. It's like, why don't we play on that divide?
We can.
Maybe if we lure down, what was his name?
Kar'anoth?
Maybe if we lure Kar'anoth down, maybe we appeal to his better nature on things and see if he'll assist us in number one, getting out or getting up, and number two, dealing with any resistance.
We steal this dragon. Grand Theft Dragon. Let's go.
But also, do we know why Suzail? Why now? If it was just because of the infestation, then we could then not someone not us could potentially reason with the hunter.
Sorry, are you all just kind of like sat there silently
looking
at one another?
I was just about to comment, and he's like, "Hello, why? What's going on here?"
So I'll go. I'd be like, if that happened a bit. One moment. We're thinking in unison.
Okay.
Continue.
Everyone's making fun faces and going.
Gambahas takes a moment of silence in response to Zumbo to quickly check his spell book. The only spell that could reliably be cast in enough numbers to get you all up on the deck would be like Dimension Door, and by the looks of it, the ships are too high up for that because that's got a 500-foot range.
Does he not have fly?
Got fly. Like he could have fly cast on you, but then it would be you lot flying in the face of dragons.
Perfect. I don't mean to be impolite, but this guy is useless.
Yeah, you're the mage royal, right? You're the main mage in this whole country.
I mean, he's no.
The best you can do is a third level spell. I've got third level spells.
So he looks to you and. I mean, I'm more than happy to teleport you 500 feet above the grounds of the palace, but I don't... Unfortunately, the ships are slightly higher than that, and it would be a very painful return to Earth.
Why don't you use fly, go up 500 feet, and you deal with it?
People, focus.
Yes, why don't we just try and appeal to Garnoth?
We don't really need to appeal to him, do we? I mean, the fact that he even gave us the whole divide thing is telling.
But he may not be ready to act on it, so we may be able to push him.
I don't think he's going to be going to want to act on it unless we at least do a bit of research before. I'm just saying, like, we are really, really firing in the dark here.
Yeah, I don't think a WhatsApp message is gonna convince him.
Yeah, I mean, if he knows what they're doing is wrong, then he kind of is waiting for us to do something about it. I don't think he's going to commit to an actual coup.
He does have information that could help us.
I
mean, we can try.
When we met him before, it was it was the young'uns, wasn't it, that he was concerned about?
Yes, which he saved.
Yeah. Also, we did say that the debt is paid. He doesn't owe us anymore.
I mean,
well, these are new situations.
No, because we met with him later.
Right. Okay. So yeah, Magnus is awkwardly sat there silently with Gambahas watching you all. So,
Magnus is sweating, looking for exits.
Yes. So, are you all right? Says Magnus as he peers at you all.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna say out loud, like, this is hard. All right.
Magnus ponders, and it seems like the biggest hurdle between... There's a number of ways of getting up onto the ship. But getting up to the ship is for naught if there's a few dozen red dragons to greet you, or that can catch up with you. It seems like the best way... Your biggest hurdle is getting rid of these dragons.
In that case, I'm gonna stand by the debate idea.
Magnus, your bait.
There's another option we could do. There's a way up, bypassing the dragons and maybe getting direct to our quarry.
The way you are saying that is not filling me with a lot of confidence, I'm not going to lie.
Let's face it, Hiram, nothing I say ever fills you with confidence.
That's not true. I like your songs. They fill me with a lot of confidence.
Well, again, I think and she's starting to speak out loud now rather than the chat room. I think the first part of my plan may have merit, but I think we then need to change the rules slightly. Why don't we convince him to take us up there as prisoners?
Oh, that's so cliche.
It's so cliche, but it may be so cliche that maybe they don't expect it.
They don't seem like the prisoner kind of people.
I mean, we did destroy the castle and cause them a lot of problems. The hunter who hates, we've had a couple of run-ins. We may be able to encourage her.
Is this
this is out loud now.
Okay,
yeah.
out loud.
Yeah, actually, here I would have question in a group chat. Is there a reason why we're having this conversation just with us and not with the two war wizards who are? I'm really sorry, but who are a bit brainier than us?
It's more fun, I guess.
Yes, there's that, and I don't quite. And this is in the group chat. I don't quite trust the Mage Royale. He looks a bit of an idiot.
He hasn't really been offering some great solutions so far. I think we have to go with what we've got. How about, has anyone got any spare illithids? We could just chuck them into the air.
Ooh. Girl, new idea.
I mean, I laugh, but that was sort of my idea for bait.
Dress up
make something look like an illithid and just
dress up Midnight Raven as an illithid.
Just put Betty on his face. So she's
I feel like every one of the Warhounds is now like.
Yeah. Sorry, Anton, you were saying.
Yeah, just as illithids, run out the city, and that's the plan.
This is the world's weirdest silent disco. So just to double check, so out loud you were mentioning, effectively you were mentioning Karnoth, right?
Second time around, yes. So she's only mentioned her plan but not Karnoth by name.
You speak of this division.
I think we can exploit it.
If nothing else, I know the githyanki to be. If nothing else, the githyanki are both proud and bound by tradition, and surprisingly honor. If there is discontent within their ranks, perhaps that will prove to be the brittle part of the metal beam. Apply enough pressure to it, and perhaps it will bend and allow you some.
You said that you had drinks with the githyanki.
Yes.
Do you know what happens when leadership is questioned?
Well, the githyanki society is highly meritocratic. You find that the war leaders the leaders within their society have gotten there through strength of arms or mastery of tactics, and the githyanki are proud yet humble enough to acknowledge if someone else is better suited for the job. As such, there don't tend to be that many leadership struggles, as if one warrior surpasses another, then the lesser of the two simply steps aside.
Would you say the weapon they've used is somewhat maybe against their ideals?
The githyanki aren't known for wanton destruction. Their leader, their Lich Queen leader, Vlakith, though she revels in destruction, it is always very targeted. That's why they usually stick to raids and pillaging. They don't want to draw too much attention to themselves, lest a concerted counterattack is launched against them. Why do you think this disagreement between the githyanki might stem from their methods? This is an unusual attack, after all.
Well, the first time we saw anything like this weapon, it nearly killed their young. And then they're using it willingly and wantonly, and I'm thinking that may be where the divide lies, because Garnoth was the only one who was trying to save the young, while the hunter who hates was just interested in waging a bloody battle, while the elemental destruction ripped through the castle. So I'm wondering if maybe we can exploit that she hasn't got the best interest in the people, only herself. Maybe we could convince Garnoth that she is not the best leader.
I think he knows. I wonder if we can convince him to challenge her for the leadership.
We'll need to speak to him, but I think we might be able to convince him to do so, I'm sure.
He stayed loyal to her this long, though, so it'll need a pretty strong push.
Yeah, I mean, that is actually a conversation I wouldn't mind having.
Not to bring up current history, but so did Edsarad until the right moment, and then he pretty much stabbed Rager in the back.
Terrible times.
Yeah. Also, I assume it needs to be a githyanki who challenges their leader.
The githyanki are the only individual that all the githyanki owe undying loyalty towards is Vlaakith herself. Everyone else has to earn and maintain the respect of their peers.
I don't know. No one outsider can't challenge the hunter.
Possibly. Yes, correct.
Cool.
Could you use your mind stuff to convince them that we've got there's a message from the Lich Queen, or I don't know, manipulate them that way?
As a last resort, I think I may want to try and speak to him first. And if it's push comes to shove, then maybe I'll explore that avenue.
Yeah, also, Anton, you are not looking convinced.
So, out of character, I have no idea what we're doing.
I am also a bit... There's a lot going around.
I don't know. Are we going to fly up there? We're not flying up there. We're going to chat with...
Fundamentally, what the plan should be is to get Garnoth down, which would need Balthazar sending to do, because we've met him, so you can communicate with him.
But what we're going to say to him, sorry, Carl. Say to him, oh, hey Garnoth, could you come down? We want to talk. We don't like your enemy, so we can become friends.
We want to talk about the future of your people. Talk about we want to talk about the divides aforementioned. Fundamentally, we just need something to encourage him down, basically.
So I will cheekily interject at this point. The last time you met Garnoth up in the Stormhorn Mountains, there was already a very distinct them and us sentiment between the hunters githyanki and Garnoth's Kresh githyanki.
Yeah.
And Garnoth did not seem pleased that when the safety of the eggs was threatened, Zinaleth the hunter just got up and left.
Yes, which I mentioned, yeah. Like, we can exploit him for that, because, he seems to care about his people, she does not. She cares about vengeance, and...
Yeah, she's on a big rampage.
Yeah.
He also...
We are currently...
Sorry, he also very explicitly mentioned to you, I think, or you and Katya in the courtyard, that she is perhaps a bit too young and rash for the position that she's found herself in.
So the idea is, if we can get him to come down, we get him to take us up and basically deal with the bigger threats while we go for the hunter.
I mean, do we even need to be there?
we still need to get the ship either lower or damaged enough to.
Oh, but if we can get him on our side and he can get rid of the hunter's githyanki, then the ship is theirs. They can just go away.
No, just yeet
And-
out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeet out.
He's not.
Because that means that suddenly we have the githyanki on our side against the illithid, which would be a preferable situation to just, yeeting them back to where they came from. Because we still have that problem.
He's not like super powerful, is he? I mean, because
He has a big ass fuck you sword.
Sword bigger than Hiram.
Okay.
but at the same time,
Let's write him a message. It's worth doing.
Yeah, I mean,
let
it
me
seems like the fact that Cutting-Off was seemingly leading the assault on the Western District, and on his command, like all of the riders there retreated from battle. It seems like actually he's got quite a few forces under his belt.
but there's still, I mean, everyone that was attacking the East End, there's still kind of like a big divide, right?
Yeah.
And, he's had problems beforehand and not been listened to. But also, I mean, I think, at the end of the day, there's probably people we can come to. We need to appeal to him as we are we're reaching out as, we don't want this to happen. We don't feel that you want this to happen. We're here to be with you to fight to the illithid.
Yeah. Maybe that's something we should press on. That we have been looking into this problem. We actually have seen the illithid mother. Did you see the mothership? Was it on elsewhere?
I think we
just
what
I don't know.
They're done with now.
Okay,
well,
cool.
We have just been to a goddamn shadow realm when we can see them build an army, man. I know Hiram is not particularly intelligent, but he's not that dumb.
And Catchy did touch the elder brain.
Yes.
Exactly. So we have information that the problem is still there. We can help them, but only if they stop fucking up our country.
Okay.
And only if someone, and then maybe appeal by saying only if we can speak with someone more rational and less hot-headed.
Okay. So in which case, Balthazar,
basically, we are doing a king making again, and we are getting rid of the.
What we do best.
Balthazar, are you able to condense all of that into 25 words or less?
Yeah, I've got something. I'll send.
Okay.
Also, there's a question, DM.
Sorry, Anton.
Yes.
Because we've been sitting around for about an hour or so. Is this a short rest?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll send a message by sending. Kanath, Warhounds here. Let us parley. The illithids are the enemy, not us. We can help you fight. Meet at War Wizard Tower.
Bringing
What?
them here.
Oh, let's meet him in the park.
Too late.
Too late. I was going to say, like, you already said it.
Everyone hears it. No.
Bold choice.
Okay.
No,
Okie dokie. So, Balthazar, you just you're looking around nodding, and then you send the message, and then you let everyone know what the message said. And yeah, presumably everyone just what? Like, looks to you, utterly horrified. And are you letting anyone else know that this is happening?
Oh yeah.
I imagine this is all very public now.
Okay.
I imagine that we kind of are starting to, because if people are starting to sort of look alarmed and panic, we have to try and calm them down and say we are preparing for peace talks here.
Yeah, I think also we probably would cotton on that something is going on when we all go like, no, Balthazar, don't call them here.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Magnus and Gamma Haschet here. They both bellow. But okay. In which case, Gamma has puffs his cheeks out and, well, I better prepare an audience room for you all. He says, "Tell me, will they be bringing their dragons?"
I don't know.
I don't think they'll fit inside.
They can park it in the courtyard, right?
Unless you have the shrink grow spell.
And then we steal the dragons.
Hope
That's
so.
the plan, right?
That can be plan B. No, I like this. Plan B. We steal a dragon so we fly away.
Just leave Magnus with the angry githyanki.
Can't we just true polymorph like drool into like a dragon?
Why is everyone so enamored with true polymorph?
It's fun.
He'd have a drool breath. Just
You
slop.
became an all-powerful wizard. Why wouldn't you want to polymorph? Come on.
Because I keep true polymorph for myself.
Ah, so not saving the city. Fair enough. That's valorous.
He moonlights the weekends as a cat.
Yes. Okay.
Should have become a druid.
So, the Mage Royal kind of stands up and, well, I'll leave this all in your very capable hands, and I wish you the best of luck. He kind of stands up, picks up the staff that's been hovering next to him, and sort of like bows and goes to take his leave. He stops and kind of turns back around, and I'll be speaking to you soon, Cobbleson, he says, as he then kind of strides out of the room, like his cloak kind of billowing out from behind him.
Well, as he walks out, I'm going to turn to Magnus and go, ooh, you're in trouble.
Oh, I'll be fine.
And what did you do? He looks very unhappy with you.
Nothing.
Is this another...
I created a distraction. For you lot. And I hope you're welcome.
Oh. I mean, thank you, but did you blow yourself up again?
To be fair, that probably would have gotten me in less trouble if I had.
The first few keys of the low-flying cleric play on.
So, you are left alone in this in this audience room, and yeah, Balthazar, you don't get a response, and there's it's like an awkward pause because it seems like if Cutanoth arrives, he'll be brought here. You wait long enough that you can gain the benefits of a short rest.
In the meantime, while this is all happening, Annaline's definitely going around trying to find fake, sort of handles that turn doors around and stuff like that. Just playing with any book, any candlestick.
Poking the walls to see if they're fake. Okay. Slate, as you're kind of wandering around, poking walls, you hear a commotion outside the college, like through some of the windows, and some minutes later, you hear footsteps approaching, and the door at the far end of the hall opens. As it does, kind of the magical chandeliers overhead glow a bit brighter, as as two war wizards enter, and then sort of like split apart to stand kind of either side of the doorway. Gathered Warhounds, we have some guests for you, says one of the war wizards, and with slow, ponderous steps, an armored figure enters the room, flanked by two knights. Two githyanki knights, and Cutanoth kind of steps in and kind of takes a moment to kind of take in the surroundings, and you notice the two githyanki knights stood behind him, kind of looking around, and it's clear that they're kind of investigating for kind of ambush. It looks like they're looking for ambush spots, escape routes or whatnot. They're just kind of taking in the surrounding, and Cutanoth finally kind of brings his eyes to you, and as he approaches you, kind of take in his visage a bit more, the graying facial hair, his right ear torn halfway from some sort of a war wound, the heavy fur cloak, animal pelt cloak that hangs from his back, and secured to his back this huge rectangular blade, and yeah, his heavy footsteps reverberate as he walks towards you, and he slowly takes a seat, like just down from you. I understand. You wished to speak.
That is correct, Karnoff. We do.
Believe me when I say I am here out of respect of your previous efforts. But we currently sit on opposite sides of the theatre of war. But I would listen to your proposal. Speak.
It is because of those previous deeds that you speak of that we figured we may get a chance to talk to you. I remember back in the castle when the elemental explosion went off. You yourself went for your brood, as one clearly would. But your leader, the hunter, did no such thing.
He sneers. She is not my leader.
That saves us some time then. Karnoff, we can't understand why she has chosen to attack Suzail now. After all this time and after everything that's happened, and with the Illithid threat still growing, why she has chosen to arrive, or her actions back with the Nautilid. It seems that she is taking a path that you may disagree with.
Karnoff looks to you like he holds your eye for a moment, and then you see him, he kind of very subtly looks to his two knights. The two knights get up, walk back to the entrance, the door that they came in through, where the two war wizards are waiting, kind of outside, and like the two war wizards go to make a start as the Githyanki knights close the doors, like stand in front of the doors. So it's just yourselves and the Githyanki in the room. And cutting off, like, his eyes furrow slightly as he regards you, and we Githyanki follow a very strict code. It would seem that Xenoleth has not yet experienced enough years to appreciate the importance of these rules. She would replace purpose with wanton destruction. There is no finesse to her rage. She is broken. And I do not follow the command of broken toys.
She is also taken from us. As you may remember, there was another of our group. The hunter has taken that person from us. We don't as much seek revenge, but we do seek to help you. We wish to end this threat to our city, end this threat of the hunter, and maybe return your people to the way of honor?
Karnoff takes a breath. Your proposal intrigues me. I must inform you that we are here under the orders of Vlaakith herself, but the orders do not stretch to dictate our specific actions here. It is Xenoleth's understanding that this city is naught more than a food and breeding ground for Illithids. Her plan is one of scorched earth. Rather than fight the Githyanki rather than fight the Mind Flayers head on, she would raze this city to the ground, using this weapon she places so much faith in. She will eradicate each and every one of you, and in the process attempt to starve the Mind Flayers. She does not see the folly of her plan.
The way I see it, and I think you agree, she seems to not realize that people will fight back and then just cause more. I mean, look at the destruction that's already been caused in the city, not just to our people, but to yours, where we could all be turning our attentions to the correct.
The attacks are nothing more but a diversion to scatter your defensive forces across the city, so she may strike a singular blow. The weapon mounted to the deck of her ship is already gathering power. She intends to fire it by daybreak.
Oh shit! Yeah. So, what do you need? Because you're not happy with Zidoleth, but you have not done anything yet. So I assume you need some kind of help.
I have no interest in seeing this city razed. Whilst it is nothing compared to our own civilizations, you have done nothing more except be cattle for the Mind Flayers, much like every other race in this cosmos. If you will help me replace Zidoleth, perhaps with myself, then you will have my support if you were to lead an assault on the Adlishar, her flagship.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
We can do that.
The only thing we ask of you is you need to get us there.
The Red Dragons, if that is what you were hoping for, would not accept you. They are raised to carry githyanki from birth and no one else. But we can certainly provide you an escort.
That I think may do.
An armada of Red Dragons is significantly less threatening when you are also backed by an armada of Red Dragons.
I think we could make that work. And she looks to everyone in turn like...
Yeah, right?
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Sure.
In that case, the terms of the deal are thus. We will help you remove the hunter and put you in charge. And you will then help us remove the threat of the Mind Flayers.
Let us commence the ceremonial scratching of the backs.
No.
Katanoth looks to you and... I feel I require something else to sweeten the deal. Something else to sway my hand.
Speak your mind.
We Githyanki Kithrak take pride in our weapons. They are crafted of the finest artisanship. And he turns to look to you, Hiram.
I am not giving you my goddamn sword. Yours is cooler.
You will have my forces in exchange for that blade of silver.
Ooh.
Wait. Oh god, okay, give me a second. I'm so fucking tired. I was like stepped on by a dragon. So you just need Agentis. And we have the Alliance. And I'm actually holding out the sword like, this is all you need. And we have the Alliance.
Preferably
Catcher?
after he's used it.
1 sec.
Katanoth nods. Since I wielded it up in your mountains to the north, I realize that the craftsmanship of that blade is vastly superior. I would be honored to wield such a weapon. And a silver greatsword is a weapon of great importance to we knights.
It comes with a history. If you also accept to know that history, it's yours.
He nods.
You sure you don't want a staff?
Yeah.
Wood staff?
I remove Argentus and I hand it over to him.
Ooh.
It is, and I say in the group chat, at the end of the day, it is just a sword.
But we need you to have that sword as you're a...
I will have another sword. We need this alliance. We need this alliance more.
Take his sword.
His sword seems a bit...
I actually can't use his sword. It's a bit too heavy for me.
What?
Look, it's ginormous. It's the size of Hiram.
It is the size of me. I'm not trained for that kind of sword.
Magnus.
Yes.
Is there any other great swords that we can supply Hiram? Maybe you have a couple of magic ones in the vault somewhere.
Magnus kind of great swords. No, they're far too brutish for us. He says, kind of shaking his head.
We'll think about it later. I can also just go to the market and see if I can get something. But in the meantime,
he stops and thinks. Like Magnus stops, and then he looks up to you, Magnus. Looks up to you, Hiram, and there is one blade I have in mind. He says, but as he says that, you hear a boom, like a heavy sound, and you watch as Cutting-Off unsheathes the slab of metal from his back, and he places it on the one-handedly places it on the table, and as he lets it go, you see the wood, the marble table, buckle ever so slightly under its weight. And Katya, you kind of feel that kind of tingly feeling whenever you cast a spell using psionics, and it almost seems to kind of slightly disappear as he lets go of this blade. Which, looking at it, you can all see that, even Hiram would struggle to pick this up. But as Cutting-Off takes Argentus up in his hand, and then he he takes his cloak off.
Before, as I'm handing it to him, and this is Argentus. Wield him for honor. And then I step back.
Cutting-Off kind of looks up to you, smiles. There's a slight smile in the corner of his mouth, and then he lays Argentus on the table and then swaddles it with his cloak. And then as he looks to you, he says, "The deal has been made." And with that, he stands up. "We await your attack." And the old githyanki turns and leaves. And as the old man stops as he gets to the door, and the two githyanki knights go to open the door, and then the three of them turn to you.
Thank you.
He just kind of snorts. The doors open, and these two war wizards just shocked as this door opens, and they kind of go to intervene, and these three githyanki just kind of walk past them. And as the war wizards kind of look to you, you lot in shock, and watches his githyanki leave.
Catcher falls into the seat he was sitting in, puts her feet up on the desk, looks to Balthazar, and just...
Why are you doing that? I had to give away my sword. You should... I should be
Hey.
Fuck, I need to go shopping, people.
Hey, look, Hiram, it's okay. You've got at least probably 3 swords worth from that one.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Magnus, can you maybe potentially get me the sword from Ezered? Because that would be really cool.
As Magnus kind of looks to you with a raised eyebrow, and as you watch these three githyanki leave, and you kind of look to each other and appreciate that in the very near future, you're going to be somehow attacking the Adlishar, the flagship of the githyanki fleet, over the city of Suzail, we will call it there.
Very good.
Congratulations, everybody, on completing session 36.
Hey.
Very good.
One of Catcher's plans that did involve fire.
Yet.
Apart from the fire in the
Not yet.
booth.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, Hiram's not got a sword.
Yeah, I am about to just delete Argentus from my inventory, guys. It's a moment.
Don't delete it yet. We might be able to steal it back.
We'll give you a dagger.
Yeah, you might die.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I also still have a glaive and a greatsword in my inventory, so I'm not without a thingy, a weapon.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you're fine. I mean, you could just headbutt everything on the way from here on out. It's
Once
only
again,
like-
have a glaive. It's fine.
and a forehead. Right. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. We release episodes very regularly. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. We have weekly podcast episodes and we have shorts as well. So if you like what you saw, please give us a like and comment about your favorite bits down below, and whether your messages of condolences for Hiram's lack of family sword. And if you like this video and want to see other stuff, you can find loads of other episodes in this campaign as well as others. It will really, really, really help us out if you were to click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of when we upload new stuff. And besides that, I think it's time to say au revoir.
Au revoir.
Well,
Bye.
Catch you all later. Bye 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 bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I also just realized my father is going to murder me.
Now that Zinaleth's horrifying plan has come to light to obliterate Suzail, the extent of her wrath is clear. Even as her own forces plot with the Warhounds against her, will that be enough to stop her? Come back next time to find out. Thank you for watching through to the end. It really means a lot to me and the other explorers. If you like what you saw, it really helps us if you hit the like button and comment down below about your favourite parts, or if you have any feedback. For more Explorers of Elsewhere goodness, you can find another video here. And the best way to support us is to subscribe here, as well as hitting the bell icon for notifications of new videos. So, with that said, thank you once again, stay safe, and as always, may the realms endure.